Marcellus Williams, a name that resonates with controversy and a quest for justice, a name etched in the annals of death row, symbolizing the complexities and potential flaws within the justice system. His story is a chilling example of justice gone astray. Convicted of a brutal murder and sentenced to die, his case has sparked debates and discussions across the nation. But then, a twist of fate emerged. New DNA evidence surfaced, casting significant doubt on his guilt. As the nation watched, the new evidence brought a glimmer of hope. Could this be the key to proving his innocence? A life hung in the balance, with every tick of the clock bringing him closer to an uncertain fate. The year was 1998, a time when the world was different, yet the quest for justice remained the same. Felicia Gale, a dedicated reporter, was tragically murdered. The community was in shock, and the pressure to find the perpetrator was immense. Williams was accused, but the evidence against him was largely circumstantial. Eyewitness testimony, often unreliable, played a crucial role in his conviction. The testimonies were questionable at best, yet they were enough to secure a conviction. Despite the shaky evidence, a conviction was secured, and a death sentence was pronounced. Years passed, with Williams steadfastly maintaining his innocence. The legal battles continued, and then a breakthrough occurred. Advanced DNA technology, which was not available at the time of his trial, became a beacon of hope. The results were nothing short of shocking. The DNA evidence pointed to another suspect, not Williams. This revelation brought a flicker of hope. Could justice finally prevail? The case of Marcellus Williams serves as a stark reminder of the importance of scientific advancements in the pursuit of truth and justice. As the legal system grapples with this new evidence, the world watches, hoping for a resolution that upholds the true essence of justice. The prosecution's case against Williams was flimsy. It was built on shaky ground, with little to no solid evidence to support the claims. The courtroom buzzed with uncertainty, and the air was thick with tension. It relied heavily on eyewitness accounts. These testimonies were the backbone of the prosecution's argument, but they were far from reliable. These accounts were later discredited. Memories fade, details blur, people struggle to recall events accurately, especially under pressure. Justice can be elusive when the truth is obscured by the fog of time. Circumstantial evidence filled the gaps. Detectives pieced together a narrative from fragments, trying to create a coherent story. But circumstantial evidence is often like a puzzle with missing pieces, a weak foundation for a death sentence. The entire case was precariously balanced on assumptions and conjecture, a fragile structure that could collapse under scrutiny, yet it was enough to convince a jury. The deliberation was intense, but ultimately, the jury reached a verdict. Williams's fate was sealed with the judge's solemn announcement. He was condemned to die. The weight of the sentence hung heavy in the air, a grim reminder of the finality of the legal system's decisions. The legal system at times can be a blunt instrument. It wields immense power, but it is not infallible. The gavel's strike can echo with the sound of injustice. It can crush the innocent. The system designed to protect can sometimes ensnare those it was meant to shield. Wrongful convictions are a tragic reality. It can fail to protect the vulnerable. Those without means or support can find themselves at the mercy of a system that overlooks their plight. Williams's case became a stark reminder of this harsh reality. It serves as a somber reflection on the imperfections of our justice system, a call to scrutinize and reform. Science marched forward, DNA technology advanced, a new window of opportunity opened. Williams's case was re-examined. The DNA told a different story. The DNA found at the crime scene did not match Williams's. It pointed to another individual, an unknown suspect. The foundation of the prosecution's case crumbled. The truth, long suppressed, began to surface. The new evidence was compelling. It raised serious questions about the integrity of the original conviction. Could a man be executed despite such compelling evidence of his innocence? Support for Williams grew. Unusual allies emerged. Prosecutors, once determined to secure his conviction, now questioned his guilt. They joined the chorus of voices calling for clemency. Even more surprising, the victim's family spoke out. They expressed their doubts about Williams's guilt. They pleaded for his life to be spared, a powerful testament to the possibility of forgiveness and compassion. The calls for clemency resonated across the nation. People from all walks of life demanded a review of the case. A groundswell of support for Williams emerged. Section 5. Estates resolve, the execution proceeds. Despite the mounting evidence and public outcry, the state of Missouri remained resolute. They refused to halt the execution. They argued that the legal process had run its course. The governor, facing immense pressure, stood firm. He declined to grant clemency. He cited the importance of upholding the rule of law, a controversial decision that sparked widespread condemnation. The execution date loomed. Williams's fate hung precariously in the balance. The nation held its breath. Section 6, national outcry, a nation divided. The news of Missouri's decision reverberated across the country. A national outcry erupted. Protests filled the streets. People demanded justice for Williams. The media amplified the debate. Legal experts weighed in. The nation was divided. Some supported the state's decision. Others condemned it as a travesty of justice. The case became a lightning rod for discussions about the death penalty. Its flaws and its inherent risks were laid bare. Section 7, Justice Undone. The death penalty's uncertain future. The debate over capital punishment has been a contentious issue for decades, with strong opinions on both sides. Williams's case raised profound questions about the future of capital punishment. His conviction, despite new evidence suggesting his innocence, highlighted the potential flaws in the justice system. Could a system designed to deliver justice actually perpetrate injustice? The debate intensified as more cases like Williams came to light, sparking nationwide discussions. The death penalty's supporters argued for its deterrent effect. They believed that the ultimate punishment could prevent the most heinous crimes and provide closure to victims' families. Its opponents pointed to the risk of executing innocent people. They argued that the irreversible nature of the death penalty made it a dangerous tool in a flawed system. Williams's case became a powerful symbol of this risk. His story was a stark reminder of the potential for error and the devastating consequences of such mistakes. The nation grappled with the ethical implications of capital punishment. Was it morally acceptable to take a life as punishment for a crime, even if that crime was heinous? Was it a just and humane form of punishment, or did it reflect a deeper societal desire for retribution rather than justice? Or was it a relic of a barbaric past? As society evolves, so too does its perspective on justice and punishment. The death penalty remains one of the most polarizing issues, with its future hanging in the balance. Section 8, echoes of doubt, implications for the justice system. Williams's case had far-reaching implications for the justice system. It exposed its vulnerabilities. It highlighted the potential for error. It underscored the need for reform. The case raised questions about the reliability of eyewitness testimony, the fallibility of memory, the power of circumstantial evidence, the need for rigorous due process. The justice system, it became clear, was not infallible. It was susceptible to mistakes. It could fail to protect the innocent. Section 9. A broken system, rethinking capital punishment. The debate about capital punishment raged on. Williams' case became a focal point. It forced a re-examination of the system, its morality, its effectiveness. The case highlighted the racial disparities in the application of the death penalty, the disproportionate number of minorities on death row, the systemic biases that permeated the system. The calls for abolition of the death penalty grew louder. The case became a rallying cry for reform, a catalyst for change. Section 10, the fight continues, seeking justice for all. The fight for justice continues. Inspired by Williams's case, advocates work tirelessly to prevent wrongful convictions, to ensure that everyone has access to a fair trial. Organizations like the Innocence Project dedicate themselves to exonerating the wrongly convicted. They use DNA evidence and other investigative tools to uncover the truth, to right past wrongs. The struggle for justice is ongoing. It requires vigilance. It demands perseverance. It is a fight for the very soul of our legal system.